Checking out the road conditions tonight, I was really pleasantly surprised to
Yeah.
see how much of the water had evaporated
Yeah.
in the sun today.
The main roads are good, but you can see on the
Yeah,
shoulder.
and bridges too.
It
Go
is
there.
super icy.
Yeah.
So it's like make sure you're staying there and then getting on and off the interstate. There's a few patches here and there, but yeah, you will notice that. I think most is going to be like side streets, parking lots, backyards, but it's pretty good out there. I think by sunshine tomorrow, we'll probably finish off the rest of this and we should be in good shape. But I tell you what, it is brutally cold tonight. We just saw that Nashville video. Man, those poor people, it's like 9 degrees right now there without power. They're getting what's called frost quakes over there in central Tennessee, and that's a term we use. It happens in the Midwest and in colder areas when the water in the soil expands enough that it causes cracks and actually makes some noise. And you can hear that with these Arctic outbreaks when you have moisture in the ground. That Arctic air continues to spill into the region. Look how cold it is. You can see where the snowpack is. And this is part of the reason it's so cold here. We've got snow and even some ice and sleet on the ground in our area, but that keeps the air very cold. And when you have a snowpack, the temperatures get really cold at night. So those futurecast feels like readings. Boy, the wind tonight, just a 10-mile-per-hour wind is going to make some big problems for the wind chills. That's why we have the cold weather advisories and warnings. Now, this is tomorrow. These are the highs. Now, we're going to see mostly sunny skies, and we're going to have a real struggle to get back into the upper 30s. But like today, with the sun, even though these temperatures are kind of on the cool side, the wind and the sun will help dry out and evaporate and get rid of most of that ice out there. In fact, ice can go right from a solid to a gas. We call that sublimation. So when you get dry, sunny conditions like that. So this week, temperatures staying well below average, and the mornings deep freezes, not just below freezing, but at least 10 to 15 degrees below as wave after wave of Arctic air. This might be the longest stretch of cold air we've seen like this since maybe 2010-11 winter, when we had a stretch in January with just some brutally cold conditions. So the prolonged path of cold air is going to be sticking around. So we're going to have plenty of cold air because it's with us all week. And by the weekend, we could see low pressure develop in the base of that trough of the jet stream. 3 possible tracks with low pressure, and this could become a good old-fashioned nor'easter. The nothing track, the something track, I like to call it, and then major winter impact tracks, which would be primarily snow. Now, the difference from our system over the weekend, this is going to be snow or nothing at all. There's no real chance of ice or mix with this setup because of all the cold air in place and the classic winter storm setup. This is more of your typical winter storm setup for us in the Carolinas, and as typical, the track is everything. Now, sometimes these tracks just off to the east keep us on the dry side, but there could be just enough snow here to give us some fluffy light snow for several hours on Saturday morning before it moves out. Even though it's not a lot of moisture, because the air is so cold and dry, this will be very fluffy. It'll be legitimate powder-like snow, and so it could fluff it up and give us a legitimate chance, maybe some accumulations in parts. But that looks like it's going to be most probably to our east, but I'd put it at about 10 to 20% chance right now of some measurable precipitation. It's something to monitor. Unlike our last storm this weekend, not a huge danger. There's no power outage risk. This is going to be that big of a deal. It's probably just going to be your typical winter storm. Now, could make the road slick a little bit, but we'll take snow anytime over the icy mess we had this past weekend. But as I mentioned, it's going to stay chilly. Look at these highs, all below average. And by the weekend, we could see 48, maybe 50 hours below freezing. That's going to be significant. Tomorrow, though, sunny skies return. Those temperatures warming up only into the upper 30s. What a chilly forecast. Not much better here in your Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Lots of cold air, frigid mornings, cold afternoons. We will see some snow flurries on Saturday. I've got that in the forecast right now. We'll update that as we get closer, but something to keep an eye on. Maybe by the middle of next week, we could see temperatures in the upper 40s, but I'll be honest with you, it stays pretty cold for the foreseeable future.